So, thank you and welcome to this regular thing we do. Let's be interactive. Let's share knowledge. Let's share what project you're doing. Let's share what application I've been able to do. Sorry, guys, I'm gonna get this back. How did it drop? Damn it. Whoa. Franz, are you on? Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I think I had a fluctuated network right there, but thank you to be back, and I appreciate and apologize for that interruption. Apparently, what we always doing this, starting with a familiar video that we always put up, and I'll be excited to introduce that video by George Fraser that speaks volume about what we're trying to do, creating the need to collaborate, because we believe that whether you're at the center or the periphery of a network, we are stronger when we build a web that we can actually drive the change we're talking about. So I'll be happy to introduce a regular video from my back end by George Fraser. Please, Valley Stream, can you just throw in that video for 2 minutes? Let's consistently do what we've been doing. Thank you.
Chris.
Can we have the video on running, please? Okay, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
This chart to me represents beautiful, educated, moneyed Black people all over America. It could represent Black organizations. It could represent Black churches. It could represent Black social and civic organizations. And what you will notice about these beautiful Black people all over America is that everybody is doing their own thing, caught up in a Eurocentric value of rugged individualism, having forgotten that it takes a village to raise a child. There is no power here, brothers and sisters. There is no power here. Power is most effective concentrated. You can take a 55-gallon drum of water, spill it over, it will disperse, find its own level, and eventually evaporate. You can take that same 55-gallon drum of water, put it under pressure, put a lid on it, put a hose in it, put a nozzle on the end of that hose, and it can cut concrete. There is no power with us being disconnected. See, there's nothing wrong with dispersion. I live in Cleveland, you live in Atlanta. We have folk in the Caribbean, we have folk in Africa. That's dispersion. That's okay, but we do not have to be disconnected. We are a disconnected people. We are powerless in disconnection. This is where all the power is. You see? This is where all the power is. Whether you are at the center of your own network or part of someone else's network, this is where the power is. There's a beautiful, beautiful African proverb that says, when spiders unite, they can tie up a lion. When we connect, because we are disconnected, we're disconnected from those of like mind. We're disconnected from the best practices in our community. I don't care what it is that you want to do, what profession you want to engage in, what business you want to get into. I can introduce you to brothers and sisters all over America they are doing it to death. You just don't know who they are. You are disconnected from them. There is no power in disconnection. Okay? When we connect, we prevent interlopers from coming into our communities and taking and destroying at will. All right, George. Try to open up the Booker T. Washington delicatessen in Chinatown and see what happens. So we must connect. We must connect the dots. That must be the movement for our people in the 21st century. We need a lot of us doing a little instead of a few of us doing a lot. We need to get together to get ahead. That is.
Thank you, my brother. We need to connect to get ahead because a lot of us are doing very little individually that doesn't really move to anywhere, doesn't help us get to where we want to be. If we don't connect as a people, as organizations, as government, even technology today has a whole lot room for collaboration because the era of individual e-commerce portals competing favorably now, if you are not part of a container where variables all come automatically, just a business or whatever, so today, even losing out. So thank you very much. I have a very unstable internet connection. I appeal for everybody to understand with me today. I had to try a different location for the show because just to make sure that I can actually hold the show where I'm at some of the time. So my connection is a little bit unstable. I have been in Africa for the past 2 weeks exactly today. And the knowledge about what's really going on here, it's pretty much something that needs to be discussed on a show like this because the whole essence of this show is to drive collaboration across different sectors of economy, across different players, so we can actually support each other to help each other grow in a project and business or be the technology application deployed. But I found out that it might be very personal. Our sense of connectivity and willingness to collaborate and share knowledge is gradually drifting away from what I had felt the last time I was there. People are more siloed today, trying to do their own thing. Everybody is really much not coming out to even experiment. The motivation is not exciting. So there is need to ginger the system in any way we can. And we're only doing the best we can today because we had committed to doing this. So thank you for the company behind what we do. The ViaNile.com platform. ViaNile is an e-commerce and business networking platform that is available for us to be able to create our businesses, be part of a business network. create groups and use the functionality very well. 5 weeks of its launching in the apps that we've actually made business platform, but to be able to launch your business platform within a very short possible time. You don't need to spend money investing on developing a portal, an e-commerce portal, because ViaNile has given you that tool to be able to get up and launch your e-commerce platform as part of an ecosystem, so you could benefit mutually from all the traffic that comes through our container to do all other things. You can leverage on that to show your product, advertise the product, subscribe to our services, advertise on our platforms, and that is what we intend to commit 75% of the profit to the development of businesses and people of the African continent and its other brothers across the Atlantic and the Caribbean. So ensure to support the program we're doing by inviting your friends and families to the ViaNile platform, and so you can actually be part of the foundation members of the platform regarding the potential benefit of being part of the committed users, which comes with a whole lot of benefits down the road as you go. So please make sure you create your affiliate link and you are able to use your affiliate link to invite your friends and families to be part of the foundation members of this organization. The numbers and the children. And don't forget to subscribe as well as notification, so subject matter, you will be notified and able to join the program. So thank you for being consistent with us. Thank you for believing in the need for us to be part of a network. I have a brother of mine on the show today who is actually sitting on one of the lines, and I will be glad to discuss with him. He is in the oil and gas, and I'm sure technology collaboration cuts across all industries. It's not limited to just building applications. Every sector of the economy fully needs enhancement to be transformed digitally. So as a digital consulting organization that I represent, we know how to apply this functionality in every sector of our economy. So today we'll be highlighting the relevance of collaboration using technology within the oil and gas sector because of the presence of Mr. Francis Udom. Chief Udom, how are you today? You can unmute yourself and respond, sir. You are unmuted. Unmute yourself. Hit the screen, go and see a microphone button unmuted.
All right. Good evening, everybody. And thank you very much for getting me on the show. First and foremost, I want to thank you, Kyoko, for making sure this show continues to exist. I just came in today and he talked about collaboration. I mean, we are an example because in oil and gas, we have used asset and operating integrity and digital transformation to revolutionize the way things are done in the oil and gas. I just hope that the Nigerian government will give us a platform to actually operate and show how things are being done so that we can really reap some of the things that we are doing. Okay. So collaboration is the way forward in the 21st century, and it cuts across all sectors. I started my career from the marine industry, and then I've also done things in fashion, and then now I've gone back to oil and gas, and all through collaboration have been the key word. Okay. So just to encourage everybody from African descent, we need to see more of collaboration in all our respective industries and sectors. I also stay in the UK, and we are also building some other technology or collaborating with ViaNile when the time comes. But I hope that we will use more of this technology. We will spread the news around, and then we will get more people to collaborate in different sectors. And then hopefully Nigeria government will invest more on oil and gas and see how the future can help us.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Udom, thank you very much. You know, I've known you to have transversed the industries of oil and gas, maritime, as well as the entertainment industry. What do you see as the major role, or what kind of support do you think technology, because that when we speak here, we want people to understand that there is a need today to bring in technology to help us do anything we've been doing. How we school, how we learn, how we buy and sell, how we actually even meet our medical requirements have changed using technology. And I know me and you have been discussing on this in multiple facets. Having said that, where do you think technology can come in within the oil and gas industry today, with particular reference to Nigeria that you operate?
Just like I said earlier on, the very first thing we need to do is to embrace the functionality of assets and operating integrity, which every developed nation have embraced. But unfortunately, Nigeria as a whole, we are still backward. And I think until the federal government and NNPC and the whole oil and gas industry in Nigeria takes it as very important or one of their key goals, we will still be backward. For example, if you look at the way the industry is being run, we run every asset to failure. Instead of being proactive, we run all assets to failure. So you have a lot of issues on the assets, security concern. So as soon as we reverse the way we work and operate and bring in some form of digital transformation in the whole system, I mean, one of them, like I keep saying, is the asset and operating integrity, which is almost 90% of the system. Then the system as a whole is going to be functional and effective. And then once that is done, we are going to see a total turnaround in the whole way the system is being operated. So that's what I think. And another thing is awareness and training, which I know that King Coco, you have been pioneering. Once what you are doing in Nigeria has really metaphosed, it will be able to train people wherever they might be. You can train people in different, and then share knowledge all over the world, especially from the North Sea, the way we operate in the North Sea, also Gulf of Mexico, and all over the world. Then we can have best practice, and then we can see that there will be a great shift and change in the way we operate oil and gas in Nigeria.
Yes, I appreciate you mentioning a few stuff we're doing regarding creating a training platform for us to be able to train the young Africans. You know, I like to remind people of the projections of the United Nations come year 2035 that kids from the continent of Africa are supposed to provide over 50% of the global workforce. It's not just about the provision of that workforce. Africa has over 60 to 65% of its population under the age of 30. That is a very productive age in any demographics. And we can only make the best use of these folks if we can massively train them on all the emerging skill sets. Otherwise, it's very obvious that we're handling something very, very serious in the hands where we have this young generation without the skill set to be competitive with kids out of Asia or Europe. As we know, I keep using the phrase that the world has changed forever. And the resources of a median age of 19 in the continent of Africa is a very, very viable and potent demographic that needs a whole lot of development, a lot of training to be able to give them the required skill set to be able to stay competitive and engage on jobs. And also looking at the fact that today's job workplace has totally changed from what it was traditionally as an on-site job situation to hybrid or virtual workplace, whereby you must deploy the necessary infrastructure for your workforce or your workplace to be extended across the boundaries of a physical location. So this even opens up more opportunity for young folks of this continent if only we can have an integrated policy that will help these kids have access to this training, to this education, as well as the proper certification. Because good enough, we have moved from the era of where Princeton, where UCLA, you must have such credential, or Harvard, to be able to be competitive in an interview process. We are in an era of certifications. You must have, be it an agile certification, be it a database certification, be it a cybersecurity certification. That's all the companies need. And apparently, you don't need to be within a geographical space to be able to get these jobs. So it's important we take advantage of this situation where we can actually compete and be part of an emerging workforce that is dependent on Africa, because you don't really need to be in California, you don't go to Silicon Valley to have to do these jobs. So this is something people need to understand, the dynamics of the whole workplace, how we have changed, and what are the new players in the workplace to make sure that we are permanently positioned not to be at the receiving end, but to now lead the cause for change. And Africa as a whole has a peculiar situation because we are the only continent with a very old and aged leadership that is still very much analog in thinking. And so the drive for digitalization and digital transformation is pretty much not there. If it's there, it's not really coherent. So it's very important we look at these things and share this knowledge with folks that are with us and are not around us to be able to understand where the trend is. So that having been said, Mr. Udo, I know you have been trying to build some digital infrastructure regarding a particular transaction. What do you think is the place of an investor today who is not aware of the implication of having the right technology to support what they do?
I think, like I said, sorry, please, could you say the question again? Sorry.
If you are an investor today and you are not aware of the implication or inaction of having a digital infra, I feel very sad because if you speak with somebody who probably should be in a position to invest today he's still very bent, focused on building a property, and the returns on property compared to digital investment are not comparable, because if I may just want to drive you, the last 12 months I've seen over $1 trillion made by digital entrepreneurs. So
Yeah.
if today someone has his own investment funds, but is not aware of having a piece of digital infrastructure, what is the implication down the road?
I think is really, really bad, because what we are talking about here is awareness. If you are not aware, then you are almost like a blind man. You will not even know what you are doing or what you could get on the return of investment of if you invested more on digital transformation. So, like I said, in the a lot of people are not aware. They don't use the latest technology, know how things are being done, and then they assist them to be efficient. So it is catastrophic if you are not aware that everything has now been digitalized and we are in 21st century, and it's shocking. But like I said, it is only training, society sensitization, and then educating our youth, and also doing what you are doing, making sure that people can see this kind of interactions on the net, that is going to help us move forward, or make us to understand what is going on in the world. So we've just got to do what you are doing, and try and hopefully one day a lot of people will be aware. I mean, in what I have done in the country, I came back from the UK since 2013. I've been able to introduce asset and operating integrity into the country. And last year, I am glad that you and I, Chief Coco, you and I, we went to educate our Nigerian legislator, the senators in London. And hopefully, asset and operating integrity is going to be inserted in the PIB, which is Petroleum Industry Bill for the oil and gas industry. I think once this is done, a lot of people will be aware. We will have more investors in the industry, and then things will turn around for the better.
For the benefit of some of the listeners here that might not be fully aware of what asset integrity is really about in the oil and gas industry, this is the continuous evaluation of the validity and integrity of your asset, be it your flow station, be it your pipeline infrastructure. Because with this, you can actually predict when to do your regular maintenance. You can forestall the regular pipeline eruption that brings about a lot of spillage, and even your flow station, even to the tune of certain massive the disruption that might happen, because you're living in a very volatile environment between the gas, oil and gas sector. So it's very important that a country like Nigeria, with whose assets have really been aged over 50 years of oil exploration and operation, it's important to continually evaluate those assets to make sure that the integrity of those assets is on and can be guaranteed to keep producing with very minimal accident. So I know that we work together to introduce this at the legislative training session in London, and we are happy to equally have that be part of the emerging product petroleum industry bill that is working on by the legislatures in Nigeria. So thumbs up for you, my brother. That was a good one. And I'm very proud of having that collaboration with you, even though you ended up with COVID and got stuck in London for for almost 9 years, almost 9 months, and I feel your pain, but I was pretty much lucky not to have got caught up with that situation. So that having been said, my people, you are listening to Alliance of Pan-African Organizations. We drive collaboration among people of African descent. Let us share, let us share projects and applications, innovations, and see how we can drive each other's products to be recognized and utilized so you can actually monetize what you've been able to invest in. So that's the whole essence of doing what we do. We'll keep today's show exactly within an hour because of the peculiarity of we're really excited today. I wanted to keep subscribing to our YouTube channel as well as hit the notification button, invite your friends to the ViaNile platform, create a group, create a store, and make it a business hub. We're not playing. We can tell you that the numbers look so good. And the management of the platform has a philosophy to drive development by reinvesting its profit in the continent through the members that invite 10 people to the platform now. So be part of that foundation member so you could sit back tomorrow and drive a process of change within the continent or anywhere people of African descent are. We are not limiting the proceed benefit to just the continent of Africa because we are aware that almost everywhere Black folks are, the inner city of America, the continent of South America, the Caribbeans, as they call it, we all have Black folks seeking startup venture capital to be able to start up new businesses, support existing one, getting knowledge of technology. So ViaNile that is powering this program is fully embedded in driving that change. So let's be able to populate our digital platform that we own. Let's be able to write our own story the way we want our story seen, you know. So that's what we set out to do. I've been doing this for the past 27 months, and we're not going to stop till we get the result we're talking about. So we encourage everybody to be part of our show. Invite your friends to our Zoom session. Let's all be part of this discussion and see how we can navigate this murky water of digital transformation where knowledge is very limited in the continent, resource people are very limited in the continent because we need to bring the right people to support the process. And we have a unique situation where our system does not really encourage that. So it's predicated on us as individuals, as those that have the relationships, to bring them to the table using any format. Thank God we would have had to pay lots of money to do this yesterday, sitting on a terrestrial television, but we today can just put this together, bring folks from all over together to discuss this issue and still have it recorded and preserved for posterity. Because at the end of the day, people will look back tomorrow and say, well, this dude did say this thing. I have been doing this for 24 months. Just before COVID, I was doing this show. And everything I spoke about that was going to come up post-COVID situation is happening today. And more is about to happen. So it's very important we educate leadership at all levels to repurpose our priorities and focus our energy on points that will have exponential impact on our people's development, capacity building, our economy, and everything else. Otherwise, there's no way we're going to be able to catch up. So, my brother Francis, let me just come back to you briefly now, you know, because asset integrity has come, and I know that a lot of problems we have is that we have a lot of data sitting without being able to be accessed because they are not analyzed. The digital framework and infrastructure is not really available. What do you think about the emerging oil domains in the continent? And how can we provide the knowledge and the experience of the Nigerian oil industry for them to benefit from? What do you think about that?
Well, I think that the government has a lot to do, the government of the day. Because, like in Nigeria perspective, for us to even do anything significant, we've got to go through one, the legislative, which we have tried as much. The second arm is for us to go through the regulatory body, which is in Nigeria context is called DPR, Department of Petroleum Resources. And the other third component is also to go through the national operated oil company. In this case, in Nigeria, is NNPC, Nigeria National Petroleum Corporation. So, and then individual organizations like ourselves trying to make sure that everybody is aware. But it's been very difficult to make sure that you get these all arms to work. It's been very challenging. But I can tell you that we've got to push forward. We've got to keep training people, talking about it, doing seminars, doing shows like this one, and getting people to be aware so that everybody can, talk the talk and work and make it as part of their culture. And by so doing that, we will change the narrative and make sure that oil and gas is good. But even as we speak, oil and gas is now a thing of the past. We are looking at renewable energy. If you look at all the developed world, everybody is utilizing renewable energy. But we are so backward that we are still talking about oil and gas in Nigeria. But hopefully, maybe one day they will know that digital transformation is the core or is the key in all what we do. So that's what I think.
Yeah, well, you see, I have been in this situation. I've been a digital advocate, transformation advocate in this country for the past 24, going to 36 months. I know the difficulty that is happening, especially in a country like Nigeria, and this happens across most countries in Africa because of the leadership mentality that does very little, you know. But that having been said, we still gotta push it. We encourage individual organizations to come in and try to support the training because these trainings are a little bit not really cheap, you know. So for me, I want to say that individual companies, individual organizations has to step in strongly to drive this process because the continuous expectation on the government does not really augur well. And we are really, really in a time-sensitive situation where every other country has put in place a post-COVID plan to see how they can take advantage and get off the ground running. But that is not really happening in our context, especially in the country I am sitting now, because we're still grappling with the COVID situation, which for us, the vaccines are here and shouldn't be what's really getting a focus at this time because people are looking at who and what are the winners of post-COVID situation. And we identified this 24 months ago that it's going to be digital technology entrepreneurs. It's going to be digital companies that are fully ready to take advantage of emerging system. How we trade, how we learn, how we buy, how we sell has changed. And this requires us to own a piece of a digital infrastructure going forward if we have to stay relevant. We have seen how companies of 100 years that were really locked into on-site transactions like the Macy's, the Sears, and all these massive conglomerates have gone on the ground, struggling to now adapt to the digital situation to be competitive. But Amazon cannot let them see the light of day because Amazon was originally wired and structured as an agile digital organization. So they're apparently ahead of the game, having started on the right foot. So it's important countries, it's important companies all sit back and revalidate their digital status and develop what they call a digital DNA to be able to see what, where, and actually transform to be competitive. Or in only a matter of time, a lot of companies go down. I can even say a lot of countries might actually go to this in terms of being able to create new value. I guess just contributed that for companies to recreate their approach to business. Otherwise, there's no way they can stay competitive. So we appreciate the fact that this knowledge is out there. Everybody seems to understand this, but most people around us need to be educated on this situation, especially leadership, because in contemporary adoption of digital technology, the role of leadership plays a vital role because leadership is the formulator of policies. Leadership is the implementers of policies. And if these policies are not coherently developed and put in place, there is no way implementation can come on well. So we recommend that leadership across all tiers of government find the proper consulting skill set to support and give them the proper advice that they need. Otherwise, we're still going to have it as bad as it could get. There is a scramble for Africa again, and it's always us that they come scrambling for. With 1.5 billion people and over 900 million internet connectivities, this is a highly viable digital market that needs to be actually managed and put to use by us. People are speaking about the era of data. You cannot say you are looking at playing in this era with an old mentality, with an old management process, with an old project delivery processes. You cannot compete because people are in predictive era of operation where you could cut your costs because you can predict when you need to make maintenance, where you could cut your costs because you can be ahead of compliance situation. So this situation calls for a whole new different mindset, a whole new different thinking to be able to stay adaptive and survive as part of it. So once again, we are driving this awareness creation to be able to expose our folks to be able to understand the essence of having the right players around them. The king does not have to be the smartest person. All a good king needs is to have very smart people that are sincere with him to tell him the truth as it is so he can make the best decision for his people. Africa is a melting pot of youth and vibrant young people that needs to be given the right training, the proper orientation, the knowledge on what to learn. We're all aware that a lot of things we're learning in schools, those jobs are not available. So this is why we need to step into the right places and advise government across board organizations to focus and repurpose our energy on where all these young folks will be able to find a newly created job, which they can do from Africa. They don't need to be in America, they don't need to go to Europe to do these jobs anymore because it's cheaper to live in your home country and have access to this job because you have the skill set and the certification to do that. So, Mr. Francis Udom, on your last shot, what is the takeaway of our discussion today? What will you tell our YouTube viewers, our YouTube followers, and our Zoom attendees on what you see as the major component of us driving collaboration? How can you see us do this better, Mr. Francis? Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you very much. I think, number one, I must commend you for bringing this show. I mean, lockdown is one of the best things that came out from lockdown. And I'm also so sorry that I've not been able to come on this show earlier on. But this is the beginning of sensitizing information that can get reach to everybody, especially when it comes to digital transformation. Because, I mean, if you come in Nigeria and you talk about digital transformation, people look at it as if it is something, is so strange or so weird. But with your show and what you are trying to do in the country, a lot of people are trying to understand the importance of digital transformation. In our states here, Akwa Ibom State, a lot of the government people here are also looking a way of adopting digital transformation into the way they do work. Also, like I had already said, oil and gas, it is going to be the way forward in Nigeria. And I hope that we can do more. We can talk on different topics. We can actually get government to participate in entrepreneurship. And like what Scottish government did for me in Aberdeen, there was something that was enterprise. They help and develop. We're interested in business. We
You
can.
have to stay within the Wi-Fi.
Okay, so we can introduce this kind of initiative so that a lot of people will have benefits and also share on the incentive. So I think the show is very good, and I really commend everybody that have been participating on the show. That we should keep it up. I can promise that I will always attend this show and make sure I contribute as much as I can and see what initiative we can bring to get that massive awareness to everyone. That is what I can say. Thank you very much.
I appreciate having you on the show, my brother Francis, and I look forward to having much more days because, like Really said, there's a whole lot we could help sensitize the people and educate them on this. But for everybody else that is permanently joining the show, I thank you guys for your tenacity. Please invite your friends and families. Let's support the deployment on ViaNile.com. Is an integrated solution like none other. Where you have any question, please be happy to reach out on the platform and ask any of those questions. Alliance for Pan-African Organization is a group on ViaNile.com that is driving this kind of collaboration. We welcome all partners of like-minded Afrocentric individuals and organizations that are seeking to showcase what they're doing and what they need others to see to come on board and partner on this platform. Let's share our content. It's very educational, which is all we intend to do. We don't come out here to really speak about the problems of the continent because we all know our problems, but we come out here to profess solutions. I will not just profess solutions, we've gone ahead to offer an empowerment platform on ViaNile.com. ViaNile.com is available in app stores for both Android and iOS. You can download for your desktop computers. Let's go ahead and create a store. Let's be able to buy and sell on a platform, put your product for sale on the marketplace, create your business on the business network, and let everybody see your business wherever you are. We have been able to bring a lot of high-end functionalities to this application so we can compete with the big players in the industry. And I thank everybody that is all a matter of time. We'll sit back and look at what we're going to do, and I appreciate that we all started the journey together. And we intend to keep this show for just an hour to make it that miniskirt, which is long enough to cover the subject matter and short enough to be interesting. So I thank everybody for being part of the show. Our friends and the family, thank you for enjoying the show, and we expect you guys invite at least one person coming on the show the next time. Once again, I am doing this show from the heart of the tropics, the heart of Africa, the continent of the part of West Africa in Nigeria, my home state in Akwa Ibom. And it's exciting to be here doing the show. And I hope my folks at home will see the benefit of being here to share this knowledge with them, because I've always been doing this from outside the country. So thank everybody for being part of the show. I look forward to another session like this. Come Saturday, same time, 8 p.m. Nigerian time, 3 p.m. Eastern time, and 7 p.m. Dublin time. So once again, I appreciate having you guys. Please keep on supporting the program, and let's share what we've been doing, and have a wonderful evening. Thank you, and God bless.
Okay.